Hey everyone, this is Aniwa Mihangos bringing you another video for Sivana Solar. We are today here in Sivana Solar headquarters, and today's video is actually going to be very interesting for me because a lot of times when I talk to a homeowner about a PPA, they always have this misconception about what it is, right? It's very simple. With purchase, you own the system, right? But with PPA, everyone says, oh, that's renting. But in reality, it's not. And a lot of people confuse the PPA with the lease. And I will honestly say, rightfully so, because they're extremely similar. So let's go ahead and take a deep dive into exactly the PPA and the lease, and let's compare the two. So when it comes down to the PPA and the lease, it really comes down to one major difference. In a PPA, in case you don't know what a PPA is, it stands for Power Purchase Agreement. So you're agreeing to purchase the power that the system itself produces. So that in itself is the main differentiator, because in the PPA, you're purchasing the power that the system produces, but in a lease, you're paying a monthly payment for the system itself. So again, PPA is the purchasing the electricity, but in the lease, you have a monthly payment for the system itself. Both of them are similar because both of them we would provide you with a monthly cost for each of the proposals, whether it's a PPA or a lease, and both of them have an escalator, meaning that every year on average it'll increase by 2.9% the monthly payment for the PPA and the lease. Now when it comes down to it, there's certain areas in California where the PPA is not available. So a lot of the times in LEDWP, we're having some sort of complications where the PPA is not available in LEDWP, and so the lease is offered. And since they're so similar, they're almost interchangeable. But it's important to realize that difference, that in the lease, you're paying a monthly payment for the system itself, but in the PPA, you have a monthly payment for the electricity, the energy that the system produces. Now, when it comes down to the misconception of renting, so we always explain the PPA as switching plans. You're switching from your current utility provider over to your new solar provider. And it's very simple to think of it that way, because similar to how you would switch from AT&T to T-Mobile, it's the same concept. And of course, you would only make the switch if there's some benefit on the other end, right? Not only the benefit of a lower cost, but also a benefit of maybe a phone, maybe there's some other perks. Same concept over here. You're gonna be switching from your traditional utility company over to solar because it's cheaper, and of course because it's cleaner energy. You're going to be moving away from the dirty energy over to clean renewable energy when it comes to solar. Now when it comes to the switching plans, the concept of the PPA not being a rent, very simply put, it's because if you go out there and you actually look at the cables that are on the streets, you yourself do not own those. The utility company, whether it be Edison, PGE, LEWP, they're the ones who own those cables. They're the ones who own the posts. So you simply buy the electricity from utility companies. So you don't own the equipment, you're not renting the equipment, but you're buying the electricity from those utility companies. Same thing with the PPA. Since you're switching over to solar energy, you don't own the equipment, you don't own the solar panels, but you're buying the electricity and at a much cheaper cost. So this is why we always say you're switching over. You're switching a plan to solar energy, which is fantastic because on average, people save about 20 to 30% when it comes to their monthly utility bill. And of course, that compounds and that increases dramatically over the course of the duration of the agreement, which is normally 20 to 25 years. And of course, when people want to go ahead and purchase a system, they can go ahead and do so after 5 or 6 years or after the completion of the agreement. So of course, you can go ahead and start off with the PPA to get a feel for the solar energy. And I have honestly never met a person that doesn't love solar energy. And so a lot of people really go for a purchase, and I always encourage it because that's where the majority of the benefit comes from. So I encourage you to take a look really at the PPA and the lease. If you're an LEDWP, more often than not, you're going to be receiving a lease. But of course, whenever we present a proposal, specifically a PPA or a lease, there is an agreement that lists out all the details about not only the rates, but also when it comes down to whether if you're going to be able to transfer the system if you decide to move, or what happens when you sell your property. What happens to the system that is on your home when you sell your property? All that is listed out in the agreement, and it's important for you as a homeowner to go through that agreement and ask questions. For us as solar reps, it's our job to go ahead and explain all those details to you, And then when we really get down to the nitty gritty, we're gonna be explaining all those details out to you to make sure you're well aware of what you're gonna be getting into. Because solar is amazing, solar is fantastic, but it's even better when you feel confident about making the switch over to solar energy. So that is the explanation of the PPA and the lease. I hope you get a better understanding of the two, because they are different, but at the same time, they're very similar. So there is sometimes a lot of confusion when it comes down to the PPA and the lease. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll most likely be extracting this from Facebook Live and putting it on our YouTube channel. So I hope you check that out as well. If you have any questions about the PPA or the lease, make sure to reach out to us. You can go ahead and leave a comment on this post or just send us a message on Facebook. We're always here to help out. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like it and share with someone who you think could receive benefit from this video. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Till next time.